I don't know what's going to happen next, but yeah. So what now?
Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of So What Now? This episode's going to be a bit different because it's me by myself and it really feels like I'm going back years. I haven't recorded a podcast episode by myself without my bestie, but it's okay. Things happen and it's the holiday season. Like our schedules have kind of been all over the place. And on top of that, we both got sick at the same time, which feels like it was the flu so bad. So when she comes back for next week's episode, we'll talk about it a little bit more. But I was down and so was she. It was terrible. So if you've gotten this flu or whatever it is that's going around, tough because the coughing was terrible. We were so tired. We just really couldn't get together to do an episode. So here I am by myself, but it's fine. This week, I wanted to start with a quick catch up because I've been in Colorado. I've never been before, and I decided to go to Denver for Thanksgiving. My friend Janine gave me a little gift. She gave us all something, but for me, it was a skis. And basically saying like we want to take a ski trip. And I'm like, oh my God, I would love that. So we wasted no time. And one of my biggest things towards the end of this year was like to just do things, book the trip, especially with your friends, make the memories, because we just don't know if tomorrow is promised. Bro, I'm going into my last year of my 30s and I still have tons of life to live, but I want to live now also. I don't want to wait until, when I get this or when I do this or when I accomplish whatever. No, I want to enjoy my time now. So we booked that trip without waiting for the perfect time. I didn't wait for the kids to be older. I didn't wait for more money. I didn't wait for less chaos. I didn't wait for a quieter season because it never comes. We just did it. And it was so much fun. So really quickly, what we did was we flew into Denver, and y'all know I got that Frontier Pass. So with my Frontier Pass, we got there pretty cheap. It was $150 round trip. But really, if it's not the holiday season, I can go to Denver for $16 each way. So that's like what, $32 round trip. Definitely gonna do it with Sami at the top of the year. But we went to Denver and we stayed there for 2 days. I will say day one, because of the elevation and altitude, I didn't take this into consideration beforehand. I found out like the week before we left that you get really sick and you get headaches and your chest kind of feels tight and it's hard to breathe. So the first day was a little tough for me, but we got oxygen tanks. They're like these little oxygen, it looks like a whipped cream bottle essentially, but you inhale oxygen from that can, and tons of water, hydration. So we stayed in Denver for 2 days, and she has her best friend Audrey that lives there, and she owns a horse, and her sister owns this restaurant called The Broken Cage. If you're in Denver, my God, you need to go to The Broken Cage. We went twice, actually. So we went there. They had amazing holiday drinks and regular drinks, and the food, so good. And then Audrey has a horse. Like, how cool do you have to be to own a horse? So we went to the barn where her horse is at, and we got to brush him, and I got to ride him. I didn't get to do like a full-on ride. It was kind of last minute, but I did get on him, rode around a little bit. We met all the other horses because it's a barn where there's like a ton of horses there, and people leave their horses there. They kind of like live there, but you come and take care of them every day. Very interesting. That's a whole different life, but it felt so beautiful. It was just like you're away from your phone, you're away from screens. It's a totally different life, and I can see why people absolutely love it. One thing I will say, there are no Black people around. We really didn't see many, but it is what it is. I had an amazing time in Denver. Then after Denver, we had rented a car, and funny story. So we go to rent the car, and we got a mid-size SUV thinking that would be okay. Well, it wasn't, because the girl was like, oh, you guys are going up to the mountains, there's snow, X, Y, and Z, so you need a better car. I was like, oh, do you have a Jeep available? She was like, I do. And it was $150 a day. And I was like, whoa, we're going to be here from Tuesday night. We were leaving Saturday night. So that's a lot of days. Absolutely not. But then I came in and I told her, I was like, girl, we are celebrating my divorce. Fuck these men. I just, finalized my divorce and we're celebrating together. And she was like, oh my God, let me see what I can do. And shout out to the girl. I won't even say the place where we got it at, but you can try this whenever you go rent a car. She was so cool. She gave us the car for $150 total for the entire like almost week that we were there. So we had this red Jeep. If you check out my social media, we took some pictures. It was so cool to be in this Jeep. So when we finished Denver, we started driving over to Vail. And Vail is up on the mountains. It's like, it felt like a Christmas town. I don't even know how to explain it, but look up Vail, Colorado. It was such a vibe, bro. And yes, I will tell you right now, it is on the expensive end, but the way we did it was so perfect. First of all, the entire trip, we were like, just go off vibes. We would wake up and it's like, okay, where do we want to eat? I tried to choose hotels that included breakfast. So the first one did it, but the second one didn't. But it was fine because not every morning were we hungry. So we would wake up and we would find different restaurants to go to, and we would just get like an appetizer and an entree and share it, right? And then we would get some drinks. We went to the world famous hot chocolate place. And well, okay, it's not a hot chocolate place. Let me take that back. It's at the Four Seasons, which I was not staying at. It was like $2,000 a night, something crazy. But you go to the Four Seasons, there's a place called The Remedy. It's like a restaurant, and they have this world famous hot chocolate. Bruh, this hot chocolate is $30. So immediately I was like, we will get one and share it because why not? We got this hot chocolate. It's an experience. Again, I posted it on my social media. You'll see it. It's a total experience, but it was some good hot chocolate. Is it worth $30? If I were to drink that hot chocolate here in Orlando, like in a corner store, absolutely not. But you're paying $30 and they come and bring it to you. It's this whole presentation. Then they pour it and there's this huge marshmallow on top of it. And on top of that, you're overlooking the mountains and snow and people skiing. And it looks like a literal postcard. So I will say it is well worth it because of the experience and where you are. And it tastes really good. It really did taste good, but not for everybody. But if you are in Vail, you need to go get that hot chocolate. It's just necessary. I loved it. But really, the point of all this, the trip and Denver, is that if you wait for the right time, you're never going to go somewhere. And sometimes alignment comes after you say yes. So when on Friendsgiving, Thanksgiving, she said, let's go on a ski trip. I was like, let's just fucking book it. Let's go. Let's get out of here. Let's not wait for the rest of our friends to be ready. You and I are ready. Let's go make memories. And I'm really glad that we did because I love Janine. We talk about her all the time. She's actually who helped me manage the Airbnb and, communicating with them. And she helped me set it all up. So I love her and I love that I was able to do so. So it may not be Denver, it may not be Vail, but book that staycation with your friend, go, we live in Orlando. So like St. Augustine would be a great place to go. Just find a small city, a small town, somewhere you guys can drive to, fly to for cheap and make that experience with your friends. I really, really freaking enjoyed it. Now for the real about it all, like I said, ain't no people of color. There was not one man I could find that was remotely cute, but we did find one bar that would play the Jake Paul fight for us with Anthony Joshua, which I really wanted to watch. And it was fun. There was, again, no one there that we would remotely even talk to, but we would just talk to people, to the bartenders. I would have my gummies. I would have like maybe a drink whenever we went somewhere because drinking just really is not my thing anymore. I do enjoy a drink because they taste good or whatever else, but I also get mocktails when I go to certain places now. And I enjoy it. I don't know how long it'll last, but honestly, just drinking isn't fun for me. Drinking to the point where you get like drunk or too buzzed. It just doesn't feel good for me. My stomach starts hurting. And we talked about that before. So I did really good with that. And we smoked, yeah, but I think we had 3 joints that we had bought and that lasted us damn near the whole week. So we did really good. It was just such a vibe. Every time we kept saying, we're just going off vibes. And, it was great. But I do want to move on to Woman of the Week. I want to name her the woman who came back to herself. Now, this week, the woman who came back to herself, and at this time, I'm kind of talking about me, but I also want you to really look to see if this resonates with you, because it could also be anybody that feels this way. Because this year felt like such a blur. When you think back to the beginning of 2025 is when we got a brand new president, and it just felt like we were so hopeful that we knew everything was going to go downhill. And I've been moving through life on autopilot. I'm choosing to pause and recenter. And that happened around July. Yeah, around July when I came back from Bali. And I've been trying to choose alignment over approval. I just want to feel aligned. I just want to feel like I'm walking in my purpose. I don't want to be in survival mode. I don't want to be in a constant state of anxiety, even though sometimes we can't help that, right? So you don't need permission to change, and I don't need permission to change. Even within the podcasting world, right? I'm still working. It's still growing. It's still my passion. And I was producing a lot, and I wanted to get back to working with other people, working with regular people like you and I. Let's launch your show. Let's bring you purpose. What are you great at? Let's expand your voice if that's what's aligned with you. And really posting more educational content and trying to get back to, of course, selling the courses and doing VIP days, but working with people that have a mission, that are ready to start working in what they love. I'm loving that aspect of it. And you don't have to tell anyone or owe anyone a breakdown of your decisions, right? It's like, this is what I want to do because it fulfills me. It makes me happy. And what I was doing before just wasn't filling me. Like, I just felt anxious all the time, or I just felt sad all the time, because your own peace or my own peace is so much louder than any validation that I can get from the outside world. Followers are cool. Likes are cool. But honestly, for me, is being able to be in my home and feeling satisfied, feeling happy, feeling peaceful, feeling like I'm walking in my purpose, knowing that my children are happy. And sometimes that all it takes for some is to go outside and go on a walk, even for the older girls, for Sarai and Ayana. Like, they feel good when they're spending time with me, when we're doing things together, when we're playing games. It doesn't always have to be that everything is perfect, but we know that we're spending time together and it feels peaceful. And that's actually what's been bringing me joy lately. So I stopped asking people to understand my choices that God gave me clarity on, right? So I've been taking time. I've been praying. I have not been journaling as much as I should, which I need to get back to that 1,000%. But journaling and speaking to God and knowing that it has been my rest time and what I'm going to move towards next, that I don't have to wait on people to say, oh, that's good, or give me validation on it. I just need to be clear on where I'm moving and start working towards it little by little. I want to start building little things all over again. So, hey, we're here. This year was a blur. I don't want to sit here and let myself or you really take the time to just feel down about all the things that we did or didn't do this past year. It's every single year at the end, we're like, oh my God, let me do a recap of the year. I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have done this. But what did you do? And if you didn't do what you wanted to do, we can still do it. And it doesn't have to wait till January 1st. You can start today. You can start the second week of January. You can start whenever the fuck you want to start, Just start and listen to yourself. Listen to what you love to do. Talk to God and just get clear on your journey, because you're coming back to yourself. And we're forever reinventing ourselves, right? So we always said you're not today who you were 5 years ago, 10 years ago. And that's going to continue to happen. So continue to evolve and don't hold yourself to this box of what people expect from you or what you expect from yourself. So yes, that's who Woman of the Week is. It's me, it's you, it's us coming back to ourselves, recentering, walking in our purpose, and figuring out what we want to do next or how we want to expand what we're already doing. So with that being said, let's go into our motherhood segment. It's going to be brief. I want to talk about in motherhood, this being a really tough season. Motherhood looks different year to year for all of us because our kids every year are older. Every year they're into something else. And grace is required during motherhood, bro. Like, we have to give ourselves fucking grace. So right now it's the holiday season. You're probably listening to this after Christmas. So maybe you already bought all your gifts if you are that type of mom that's already ahead of the game. Not me. I have not bought anything. But what I do want you to know is that your kids are going to be okay. They don't need any more stuff. They just need your presence. They need memories. They need to feel safe. They need to feel your love. I think we get so caught up with like, oh my God, we have to buy these gifts and make this crazy experience. But I took Salmi and the girls to Lake Eola downtown. Actually, Ayana didn't come that night. Only Sarai did. But we went to Lake Eola and we went to go see Santa. We went to go see the Grinch. It was free. I mean, while we were there, I realized ain't shit free. I pay a lot of taxes in this city. But at the end of the day, completely free to go see the Grinch, completely free to go see Santa. They had like these rides, and this is all right here in downtown Orlando, Lake Eola. So I'm sure not just Christmas stuff, but there are things that you can do with your friends and with your family and with your children that doesn't cost a lot of money, but they feel your presence. You're building memories with them or making memories with them. Your children will feel safe, and most of all, they'll feel your love. And I've been starting to notice that, like, the time that I spend with them, I'm trying to make it very intentional because I am on my phone a lot, right? I do feel anxious sometimes, but I'm like, hey, we're going to do this. And during that time, I'm focused in with them. I think experiences over debt all day long. Don't go into debt during the holiday season, yo. Like, really don't. It's so stupid. Or during your kids' birthdays and all that. Do not go into debt. Really do some research and use ChatGPT. You know, me and Chat go together real bad. Use Chat to see what it is that you can do in your city, within your state, that's, you know, low prices and doesn't require a toy. Like, just get the fuck off these phones, off the tablets for a little bit and create memories with our kids. You do not have to overextend to be a good mom. And joy doesn't need to be expensive. It really doesn't. Because our kids they're not counting receipts. They're counting moments. That's it. And they want us there. That's why when I think about, you know, my baby daddies, mostly the one of the youngest, been years now. We're going into 4 years of not seeing him, not spending time with him. Now in January, it'll be 3 years since he has seen him, spoken to him, sent him anything. And to me, it's wild because my son, all he wants to do is play outside, right? Pull his swords out and play and do sword fighting or hug or kiss or eat together or help me even wash the dishes. You know, they want time with us, but I have not been dwelling on that. I mean, in my situation, it's actually a gift more than it is a curse for him not to be around because he really just isn't a good person. So that is a gift for me. But I also think about, like, man, what you're missing. And I'm not going to be angry about it. I could be so much easier. My life could be so much easier if I had a second parent because we weren't designed to do this alone. But just know that if you're a single mom listening to this, or if you're a single mom living in a household or in a relationship with a man that possibly doesn't give you much, right? You're still kind of single within a relationship, which it happens all the time. Don't sit there and like only think about that, right? Or just get angry every day. This could be easier if they were around. This could be easier if they sent me money. This could be easier if they supported me. All of these things, but also think about how much of a badass you are. And that sometimes I hate it because it's like, oh, but look how good of a mom you are. Look how good you're doing. Look at you killing it at work. Look at you this. And I'm like, sometimes it doesn't fucking matter. I'm tired. I'm really tired. So it doesn't matter how good I'm doing, it could still help. And there are days where you will feel that. But also just say, you know what? I'm doing great. My kids are doing great. Go outside on a walk. Bro, there was a time, I don't know if it was earlier this year or at some point where I couldn't work out. I couldn't get myself to moving. And Dex kept telling me, I think you guys remember, go outside and go for a walk. Just go outside and walk. Just go outside and walk. And bro, it's so true. Once you finally are able to get outside and walk, you'll realize it feels so good. It feels so good. So do that with your kids and you'll realize that you'll just feel better. Your kids will feel better. And also you're making memories. So I just wanted to, in the motherhood segment, let you guys know, 1, you're doing amazing. 2, I see you and I understand you when you're like, this shit is hard. I can't sleep. I'm working crazy hours. Just keep looking for an opportunity to make money on the side. Yo, it's not going to happen overnight. I actually really like this trend that's going on social media right now of people saying they started their business or like the transition month to month or year to year with a new career change or a career pivot. And sometimes it's like $0 profit this month, $0 this month, $0 for like 6 months. And then they're like, oh, I got a little $1,000 here, or I made $3,000 here the next. And then they're like 13,000. You have to keep going and be consistent with whatever the fuck you're doing. I don't care if you're selling t-shirts. I don't care if you're selling pens. I don't care if you're becoming a social media manager. I don't care if you're starting a course about sewing, whatever it may be, just own it. And every day put an hour or 2 of work into it. And I promise you it's going to pay off. It really, really does. You just have to be consistent with it and you'll find a way to make extra money. I know that money is what kind of make the world go round, right? You need to pay rent. You need to pay your bills. You need to do things with your kids, food, clothes, schools asking for money. There's all these things. Just chill out for a second and figure out what it is that you want to do. And then once you do and you realize, I love to do this, man, go 110% in. And all you have to do is find an hour or 2 a day to do so. I promise you. And if you want to start a podcast, you can hit me up. Go to ideatolaunchproductions.com. But I really will help you launch a pod. where yes, you'll have to do an initial investment, but I will teach you what you need to do, and you're going to invest an hour or two every single day into that bitch. And I promise you, it's going to do well. You're going to find your people, you're going to find your community, and it feels amazing to not feel alone. And then eventually you start making money. So that's a great part of at least the podcasting space, but you can do that with anything.
The McDonald's snack wrap is back. You brought it back. Ranch snack wrap. Spicy snack wrap. You broke the internet for a snack. Snack wrap is back. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
And then in the womanhood segment, I just wanted to let you guys know to pour into yourself. I've already been talking about it. You want to set the tone for the new year. So ask yourself, how do I want to feel the next coming year, the next coming years? What drains you? Honestly, what drains you and what deserves your actual energy? So let's create some vision boards for this year. Y'all know I create a vision board every single year, and they are so worth it. Please make a vision board. You can use Canva or whatever else, whether you want to do it like with your hands with paper and glue or whatever else, but you can also just use Canva to create a really cool one. Now, the vision board is for clarity, not aesthetics. Like, fuck the aesthetic about it. If you're the really cool girl that likes to make it cute, good for you. That's not me. But include rest, boundaries, your health, joy, alignment. Add all of that into there. It's not about becoming someone new in your vision board or for the next year. It's about supporting who you already are. The goal is not a new version of me. It's not a new version of you. It's a more supported version of you and I. So make that vision board. I would love to do a virtual vision board party. I did one before. I think that would be actually kind of cool, or in person. I don't know. I want to do community things all the time and then I get scared. Whatever. It is what it is. But let's do those vision boards. Let's have experiences with our kids and we'll go from there. We're going to do great. We're going to do great. I hope I'm not rambling too much because now I'm like, is this how I used to do solo episodes? What is this all about? How do I do this? Well, I want to get into our Bible stories. Ooh, from the Most High. Yes, we are. So this week, I want to talk about the prodigal son, and I'm actually wishing that Dex was here now because I wanted to tell the story very much so in a way that resonates with all of us. So we've all probably heard of the prodigal son, but there's so many things about this story that even myself growing up in the church, I didn't know about. So let's start a new segment, which I've been loving, which is Bible Tea, the Most High Edition. This is the place where I break down Bible stories while slightly lifted, highly blessed, and ready to spill that ancient tea because trust me, the Bible had more drama than reality TV. It really did. So let's start the prodigal son story. One thing that I do want to highlight is that this story is a parable. This means that Jesus made it up to teach a lesson. So no one in the story has a name on purpose. You can also find this story on Luke 15:11-32. So the family that we're going to be talking about right here is a father and two sons. Now, this is not a broke family at all, okay? They had money. You could tell there was money involved in this family. The father owned land, livestock. He had servants. So this is generational wealth, all right? We're talking about big moolah. We're not struggling, old money. So the younger son of the two sons asked his father for his inheritance while his father is still alive. Now, in that culture, the inheritance only came after the father died, which is what usually happens here, right? If your family has something to leave, whether it's money, properties, business, jewelry, whatever it may be that you may inherit, it usually happens after the person has died. But this son came and said, hey, Dad, let me get this money right now. I want what's owed to me. I want it now. The father was like, all right, here you go. He divided the property. He gave the younger son his portion of his inheritance. He didn't give him a lecture. He didn't guilt trip him. He didn't argue with him. And this matters because sometimes God lets you have what you asked for. You hear me? Even when it's going to humble you. So think about the times that you've been out here like, God, I want this. Give me this. Give me that. Or you go and grab it and you take what's not yours yet. And God will let you, even if it will humble you. So now this son leaves home. He packs up his money. He puts it into his little Gucci purse because, I told you it's old money. He has a little man purse. He puts it in there and he leaves far away to a distant country. He cuts ties with his home. He cut ties with his faith, with his identity, with accountability. He just up and left. He didn't just leave the house. He left the covering that he had from his father in his home. And just like a lot of us out here, just like people that we've seen, he spent his money, okay? He spent it on reckless living. He was throwing parties. He was, spending money for pleasure. Who knows what that means for you and I or for him. He had no plan. He did not make a budget and he had zero wisdom. He just took what he knew was his or would have been his and spent it. So he turned his generational wealth into a vibe. You know how I told you earlier, Janine and I went off vibes? He took the vibes a little too far. I went from Tuesday to Sunday. He said, I'm out and I'm not coming back. So reality started to hit for him. Now this younger son is out and a famine comes. So now there's no food. There's no jobs. It kind of reminds me of 2025, honestly, right now. The way that people are like needing to go to food banks. The food stamps are gone. Like there's nothing left. The money dried up. His friends started to disappear because obviously the friends that he had built and the people he was around only wanted him because he had that money. He was doing the parties. He had the tables at the club. He was doing the vacation. He was bringing the bitches around, Oh, excuse me, Jesus. I didn't mean to curse. But, the money was gone. So the rock bottom doesn't text you first. It just shows up. So he hit his wrong bottom. And the same people who are partying with you, they're not going to Venmo you. No, they're not. Your money ran out. Their time with you has also ran out. So now he's at the lowest point of his life. He's gone. He's far away from home. He cut ties with his father and his brother. He got nothing left. So he got to go and find whatever job he can find. There are no jobs around. So he got a job feeding pigs, literally oink, oink pigs. And to me, that's the equivalent of you having to, do what you got to do and get a job as a janitor somewhere or getting a job picking up cans or trying to make a side hustle somehow. It doesn't matter. But back then, that's all he could do. Get a job feeding pigs. But he was hungry, y'all. He was hungry. There were no food stamps. There were no food banks. It was a famine. There was no food around. And he was so hungry, he even wanted to eat the food of the pigs. Now, in Jewish culture, pigs are very unclean. Like that's the bottom of the bottom. And we talk about pigs like that now, but we love that bacon. We're going to eat that bacon. We're going to eat them pork chops, but that's not how it was then. He wasn't just broke. This was humiliating. You were now working with pigs, trying to eat the pig's food. Like, what? Are you serious? And nothing is going to humble you like being jealous of a pig. You want a pig's life? That's how you know you've hit seriously rock bottom. But there's always a turning point in this. And the Bible says he came to himself. Remember we were talking about coming to ourselves beforehand? And we never know where we are, or whether we've hit rock bottom or we're on the way to rock bottom. But he realized, damn, my father's servants, they live better than this. They really do. He's like, I messed up. I got to go home and apologize. I don't even need to be his son. I just want to survive. So he's realizing like, damn, I want to go back to my father, but I don't even want to go back as his son. I just want to go back to be able to get something to eat because I know back home, there's food. Back home, there's shelter. Back home, there's clothing. Back home, I can rest. So rock bottom will make you spiritual real fast, won't it? There's times that I've been, at the bottom. I will say one of the last times was in Jersey where I knew I wasn't walking the right path. I really didn't know. I'm like, God, I got to come back to you. I left my God because I thought that this man that I was with, essentially I made him my God. I ain't even gonna lie. I made him my savior, which he wasn't saving me from nothing, but I wanted something so bad that I believed his words and what he was quote unquote preaching to me without me going to talk to my father first. But anyway, I got real spiritual, even more spiritual, real facts. I was like, God, you got to get me out of here. I'm going to die. Like you're having that moment like, I was tripping. When you're starving, woo, you're like, I was tripping. I was starving. You're probably starving. And it may not be for food, but it could be for food. We're in 2025. But you could be starving from different things. You could be starving of love. You could be starving of support. You could be starving of community. There's so many things that right now you're like, I need something. And that's what the son felt. He was hungry. He had nowhere to go. So he had to go back home. So now he walking home, and when you're walking home, he's like, damn, how am I going to talk to my dad, right? Like, oh, I'm going to rehearse my apology. Like, okay, Father, okay, no, let me go back. I can imagine him practicing this like a TED Talk, right? He's like, all right, I'm going to do this TED Talk. I'm going to rehearse it, but he's probably going to reject me. I asked for my inheritance up front, and he didn't argue with me. He didn't go back and forth with me. He just handed me what was mine, and I just threw it away. There was no entitlement left for him. What can you be entitled to anymore? Nothing. It was given to you. Now he has nothing but humility. He practiced that apology, like I said, like a TED Talk. It was the longest walk of his life to get to his father, knowing full and well that he could take this walk hungry, thirsty, with nowhere to go. And his father can literally turn him away and say, what are you doing here? I gave you your shit. You thought you knew it all. The talk that we sometimes think about giving our kids, or that we've been given to by our parents, like, oh, but you thought you knew it all. I told you so. Or now you want to come back? Nah, the doors get closed. But once he starts walking up to where his father's house is, before he even reaches the house, his father sees him first. And y'all, when the father saw him, he ran to him. He ran to his son, this wealthy man who had given everything to his son, a son that basically disgraced him, disowned him, left him, like didn't have any more relationship with him. And he was like, runs to him, starts hugging him and kissing him. And this is also significant in the Bible because older men did not run in that culture. They walk, they're smooth, they take their time. But grace sprinted to this son before shame even arrived. Like he didn't even have time to feel shame by seeing his father because his father saw him first and ran to him. So God saw him before he cleaned himself up. His father saw him while he still had pig crap all over him, seriously. So his apology gets interrupted because the son starts apologizing and his father's like, hey, chill out. So he looks back to all his workers and his servants and he's like, bring the best robe for my son, put a ring on his finger, put shoes on his feet, kill the biggest fat calf. So bring the best steak, that Wagyu. Bring the Wagyu for my son. We're going to celebrate. He's back. He's back home. And I do want to tell you what some of these things mean. So the robe means that honor is restored upon his son. He didn't even let him apologize and tell him what he had been through or how he felt or how sorry he was and humiliate himself. He was like, I'm going to restore your honor by putting this robe on. Then he also gives him authority yet again. He says, put this ring on my son. And he's like, he's my son. I want y'all to know he's not coming here as a servant. That is my son. Put a ring on him. And shoes. Shoes was like, yo, you're my son. I need you to be walking around with shoes. Like sonship is restored again. So God basically was like, yo, save the speech. You're still my son. Save that speech. You're still my daughter. I know you left. I know you threw everything away. I know you're humiliated. I don't have to bring it up to you. I don't have to show you and make you feel even worse than what you already do. That's it. But then now let's enter the older brother that comes into the picture, right? So right now it's just you and your father. But you got this brother that stayed behind. And he was like, wait a minute. You're doing all this running? Nigga, you don't be running around here when I'm around. You don't run to me. So he's like, I staged, I obeyed you. I never got a party. We have this huge party going on now, but I never got one. He kept the receipts instead of the relationship we have with his father. That older brother wanted credit, not connection. And honestly, you want credit for what? Because you stayed home? Because your father loved you throughout all these years that the other brother was gone? You had a relationship with your father. Don't look around and be like, oh, but she got this job. They got that promotion. Somebody got a new car. Oh, look, they're giving her an award here. Whatever that may be. Who cares? Who cares that they're getting all that while they were gone? Because you've been here with your father, creating legacy, creating relationship, creating connection with him. While your brother was gone and he wasn't able to get that time with him. So I actually think about this also when it comes to my dad, right? I had a relationship with him. And there are some things that I saw that he did for others. Like I have a crackhead brother. I'll tell you that right now. I got a crackhead brother. And this crackhead brother has gotten more cars than I can count, homes, money. He stole one time, I remember $35,000 from one of my dad's saves. Then he took another line of credit and ran it up. And every time he would come back, my dad would bail him out. My dad would give him more money, another car. I remember he got locked up in Tampa for stealing out of a Walmart, real crackhead shit. And he was like, I'm not getting him out of jail, blah, blah, blah. He's going to stay in there. 2 days later, my brother's out, right? My father loved his son no matter what. It was his first son. And yeah, there was an enabling aspect of it, but I didn't sit here and think, oh my God, well, you ain't give me no more cars or you didn't give me multiple houses. No, he gave me what he gave me and I took care of that and I had a relationship with him, right? Where in that aspect, my brother could have been the prodigal son, always coming back home after he really messed things up. My dad was always there for him. I'm not sure how he received that, but that's my point of view because we all see things differently, right? But that's what I remember there. My dad always went back. I don't know what his words were or how he treated him outside of that, but I do know that he was always there. Now, let's go back to the story, right? Because now the older brother's complaining about all of this, and the father's final words were, everything that I have is yours, son. But your brother was lost and now he's found. So everything that's here is yours already. Why are you worried about it? Grace isn't always fair, but is generous. God doesn't reward comparison. Don't compare yourself to the woman to the left, to the woman to the right. Only worry about you and what you are doing. Everyone else will get grace. Everyone else, when they come humbled, they're going to get grace, but you need to walk your own path. So the message with the story of the prodigal son is that there was one son that was lost in rebellion. Now, there was one son that was also lost, but he was lost in resentment. So they both needed their father. That father's in the middle to bring back the lost son, the one that rebelled and left. And he's like, I'm here for you with love. But there was also a son that had resentment that the father also had to understand because he was human. And he was like, hey, yo, this is yours too. You still have this. You still have me. You haven't been feeding the pigs and being in literal pig shit. You know, you're living a good life. Focus on this. Don't compare yourself to others because grace is always going to embarrass your shame. That shame can go away with grace immediately. God is way more interested in your restoration than your punishment. Now, I think about this also as being us humans, right? And going back to our father or your mother. I do have a story. I don't know if she would like me to share it. But recently there was a young lady that was speaking to her father, and the father brought up that she was going to be the prodigal son. Don't be the prodigal son. And for me, I feel like, why not? What's the problem? We're human. You rebelled or you left. But as a father, what kind of father are you? Right? So sometimes we go to our kids and you're like, oh, well, you left. Well, that was your choice. I didn't tell you to do that. You thought you knew it all. And we don't show up like this father did. This father in the story is really a resemblance of God and God's grace to us. But as a mother, I want to know that when my child comes back to me humbled and telling me I'm ready to work, I just need the scraps, that I'll be there to help. And I'm actually in that position right now, right? My daughter has moved out. I've had to put boundaries up. I've had to say, you know what, I'm no longer spending money, but if you are, then I can let you work. It's just, I cannot just sit there and be the type of parent, the type of mother that'll be like, nah, I told you so. I can't do that. And I have to work on that because I have been that. But one person that's never going to be that is God, right? So when you have a parent come to you and tell you, oh, now you're the prodigal son, as if it's a bad thing, you can come back and tell them, well, are you the prodigal son's father? Do you give grace, right? I want to make sure that I'm the type of mother that's going to always be there for their children within boundaries, right? But also send them back to God and say, hey, God's always going to give us grace. Let's see how we can get this done. So I don't know. For me, it's just because you stayed doesn't mean your heart stayed. And that was for the other son. And like I said before, God is more interested in your restoration than your punishment. So go back to God, go back to your father, go back to our father, no matter where you are right now, how ashamed you feel about the shitty relationship that you're in, how ashamed you are to have left one job and because the next job offered you like diamonds and glitter and it ended up being nothing. You know, now I'm like, oh my God, I shouldn't have left that job. I shouldn't have left that person. I shouldn't have left my house. I shouldn't have done X, Y, and Z, whatever it was. Don't worry, because you can run back to our father, and before you even see him, he's going to see you and he's going to come to you and restore you. But you have to come back humble, and you have to come back knowing that you're going to have to build things from the ground up. Okay, well, that is the Bible tea from the Most High, because everybody loves the prodigal until they realize that sometimes they are the older brother as well. And sometimes God is still waiting on you to come inside. So I hope that this gives you hope, that it gives you a way to come back to yourself, and knowing that it doesn't matter how much shame you feel, you'll always, always be accepted by our God. And he loves you. He loves you. Be that father. Go back to your father, whatever that may look like. Just get her done. I feel like I've been ranting for a long time. This is supposed to be like a 15 to 20 minute episode, and now it's like a bajillion hours, it feels like. But anywho, this was the episode that I wanted to do by myself with you guys. I don't have any letters, but I do have a feel good moment. And the feel good is, A, get out there, book the staycation, book the daycation, go somewhere, build the memories with your friends, with your kids, with your significant other. Don't wait until you have $1 million in the bank. Don't wait until anything. Get it done today. Tomorrow isn't promised. That is another episode of the So What Now podcast. I love you guys. Dexy's going to be back next week. And yeah, I love you. Bye.